Hi OMG viewers, my name is Navid Lancaster. I'm a sound engineer, musician and a music producer and the owner of Lancaster Limited, and I compose the emotions for video games, award-winning films, mobile apps and animation. I've just finished the sound design for a wonderful play which finished 2 days ago, but it ran for 3 weeks. It's called Carnival Medea, a Bacchanal, and this was the first time I actually had my expertise in a theatrical environment, and it was fantastic. It was under the guidance of a wonderful director. Her name is Roma Spencer, who was actually one of the co-playwrights for the play. The other writer, her name is Dr. Shirlene Holmes, and between her and Roma Spencer, they created this wonderful environment, and I got to meet some very well-known actors, some who I've worked with before, and some were new, some were from actually Barbados. They had a Canadian Trinidadian person there, and I also worked with a very great team of set designers, costume designers, and also lighting engineers and designers as well. My job as sound designer had a lot of facets in it. My main job as a designer was to create the musical environment for the time. So for example, the time was set in the 1950s, specifically like mid-1950s. So I had to create like the music of Santi Manite. I also had to create the modern music at the time, because what happened is that it's in the very first part of the play, it's like a time travel. So I created like this modern soca and then had to put it into a 50s Panya situation. And then afterwards, it goes to the rest of the play. Besides that, I also was in charge of basically knowing where the sound has to come from on the set itself. So myself and the lighting designer and the set designer, we actually talked about where the monitors are going to be, so people would not see it, because the set is actually set like a backyard. So you don't want to see speakers that will actually spoil the look of the set. So we found a very ingenious way of putting the monitors on so people could still hear the sound, because the sound has to come from the stage itself, but they would not be able to see where the speakers are coming from. So that was also part of my job. I started actually singing songs from the age of 5. I actually remember that, singing songs like The Greatest Love of All and a song from a rock group called Styx called Babe. And I progressed. I just was a listener of music, a lover of music, but I didn't actually start playing any instrument until the ripe old age of 19. And I started with the guitar. And I wasn't working at the time, so I used to spend like 15-20 hours on the guitar just playing and practicing it. And it progressed so fast that I actually started my own band. Actually, before that, I was in a band called AK-47 for about 2 years. We did like reggae, soca back in times. Then I formed my own band with a friend of mine named Sheldon Manu called Broken Mirrors. That band lasted for about 12 years. During that time, I became interested also in the production side of music. So I started training under Kenny Phillips for about 3 months. And then I left there, worked in a company called Proden for 6 months doing commercials and stuff. Then afterwards, I worked in Spectacular Promotions for about 6 years, doing all their music, all their commercials, producing Calypsonians, being part of the live sound environment. And then I worked at UTT for about 4 years, doing their co-running, actually, their music technology department. So engineers, musicians came and we trained them about proper sound engineering techniques, proper music production etiquette. And then I formed my own company called Lancaster Limited, and that where stuff really took off. In 2012, that's where things really started to take off. I did the soundtrack for Buck the Man Spirit. That's a film by Stephen Taylor. That film won Best Short at the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival. The year after, I did the soundtrack for a film called Jab Me Dark. That also won Best Film that year. In 2014, I was one of the technical people for an international film called Pan, Our Music Odyssey. That film has been shown in various film festivals all over the world, broadcasted on PBS. And then the year after, I was the sound mixer and the music editor for the sequel to that film called Pan, Our African Odyssey, which won Best Trinidad and Tobago documentary at the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival. And then last year, I was one of the co-composers for a film called Tomb, which is the first ever full-length sci-fi film shot entirely in Trinidad and Tobago. Oh, well, the future in a sense is already happening. Unfortunately, I can't say too much because of, NDAs and certain things that are signed. But I'll be involved in a series of apps with a friend of mine. His name is Anthony Fills. He's a Trinidadian living away, and he has some very innovative mobile applications, which we believe will revolutionize a lot of things. So my job basically is to provide the music for it and the feel for it. But in the meantime, I'm currently doing music for a series of animations. Some time ago, I did the soundtrack for 3 animations through a company called First Circle Animation that was hired by CARICOM. So I started doing those, and it went over very well. I find that I'm fortunate that everything that I usually touch turns to gold or wins an award. So I usually tell people, if you want your film to win an award, it has to pass through my hands. I know it's blatant, but so far the track record has proven itself. So right now I'm actually dealing with some animations which unfortunately I can't say anything about because of things that are signed, and the mobile apps that will be coming to fruition. I would like to tell people that even in Trinidad and Tobago, and it's hard, and everybody talks about the economy and the arts and so on and so forth. Follow your dreams, follow your calling. It is one of the main reasons for you to remain happy, for you to remain sane. And I know it's cliche, and people say, follow your bliss and so forth, but it's hard work just like everything else. In the music industry, people look at the front end of it and see all the glamour and stuff, but they don't realize how hard it is to keep that. The back end is a lot of hard work. I'm used to going into recording studios and not coming out for 2-3 days. That's the kind of environment I was brought up in and what I really love. So once you love what you do and you get very, very good at it, and most importantly, and I like to tell people this as well, that music business, just like any other business, it's a service-oriented business. It's a people business. So your skills can be world-class, but if your attitude is, you're not going to get any work. So, 1, be a people person, treat people well, treat people professionally. That doesn't mean you be a doormat or a bubbly. It means that you treat people professionally, and you exceed their expectations, and you will get recommended. You will get work, even in an economy as art deficient as Trinidad and Tobago is sometimes. My OMG moment came not in Trinidad and Tobago. Go figure. It came in Guyana. When I had finished my A-levels, I basically didn't know what to do. Literally didn't know what to do. So I was in Guyana at the time. I was part of a teaching project about the Baha'i faith that was been going on in Guyana. They had a wonderful teaching project there, and the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of Trinidad and Tobago, they sent me there to find out what was going on. And I was supposed to stay there for 3 weeks. I loved the place so much, I ended up spending 4 months there. And during that time, I met a fellow Baha'i. His name is J.B. Eckel. And he went on to play like with Carlos Santana and all these great other people. But he sat down with me and he told me his life story, which I won't get into now. It's his own personal story. But what he ingrained in me is that the best of men is from the Baha'i writings. The best of men are they who follow their calling and spend upon themselves and their kindred for the love of God. So that has stuck with me through all my hardships, all through when people was telling me, oh, you sure you want to, follow music as a career, when you get a second job, why don't you just do it as a hobby, these kind of things. My OMG moment basically is that moment where I realized this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And it was fantastic because it was, in the beginning, it was just playing music, but now it has branched off to things like music production, animation, to what I just finished with theater. So I have the theater bug now. Once you do music, it could branch off into all these other things. And I keep telling people that a lot of people when I get into music, it's either stage or radio. But there are so many other avenues you could put your music in. And that's what I'm finding out. And that's what I'm applying. And that is why from that OMG moment, I'm now being recognized in so many other fields. And when people think of a certain field, they usually think of me first. I'd like to thank everyone for watching this OMG interview. My name is Navid Lancaster. And you could follow me on Twitter at Navid Lancaster. Or you can go to my website, www.lancastlimited.com. That is LANCASTLTD.com. And you'd see and hear all my music, my testimonials. You could watch my blog where I give various tidbits about the music industry. And of course, most importantly, you could hear my music. Looking forward to seeing you, and you take care. Bye-bye.